Hello, hello, hello. Whew, I'm a bit tired, but quarter to three, 10 to 3. Just thought I'd come in and just connect and say hello. Not going to be overly long today. Happy Good Friday. Happy Good Friday. I don't think you say Happy Good Friday, but it's Good Friday. You know, I was watching a skit and it's like, when you say it's Good Friday and then you tell the kids that it's the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and they're like, well, how is that good? They killed him. Well, he died for our sins. Well, why would And then they go off. Um, so happy Good Friday. You didn't know it was Easter. I thought it was next weekend. No, it's this weekend. At least for the Christians and the Catholics, the Orthodox, I think theirs is in a couple weeks to my happy sad Good Friday. Yeah, exactly. So it's it doesn't feel like Aries energy. I mean, it's snowing here. I mean, spring, whatever. But we do live in Alberta. Um Usually even when it's snowing and sort of blizzardy, you kind of get that kind of spring kind of feeling. I think because there's so much Pisces energy. Plus, Mercury's going to go retrograde on Monday and he's coming to a standstill. It just makes it feel very abrupt and very trying to kind of like finish your thought, and you can't figure out what your thought is that you're trying to figure out. So you have to go back to figure out where you left your thought to go and figure out what your thought is, you know? That's that's the best way of explaining it. It's quite a heavy um energy that we have around. Plus there's just so much that's being inundated upon us from so many different angles, and it's crazy what is coming up for for this eclipse that's on the 8th and all the information. I have a client that um lives in Texas, and she's just like, "It's crazy." She goes, "How much people are um going nutters on this eclipse," and she wanted to know what my opinion was on it. And I said, "Well, there are a lot of um uh, contributing energies that are coming in upon that day." You know, it's hard to say because I mean, when a comet comes in that splits its tail in three, that is a very it is a bad omen. I just gotta say I mean that's through history when they've done when comets have come in and their tail is split, that they've seen things happen in and around that comet, or not far after that comet appeared. You know, oh, you got 4 inches of snow, sure. And so it is a heaviness of the feeling, and you gotta really, whatever comes our way or whatever is seen, and that's what I said, or whatever comes our way, I said, you really have to have faith, and making sure that a lot of this scenarios that are coming forth are not, you know, natural. A lot of them are of man-made, occurrences that are coming in. I mean, from from CERN to NASA shooting rockets at the moon or something. And yeah, it's pretty can get pretty dark and pretty crazy, when you're looking at everything, and even the names that they gave them, because I mean it's the rockets being that of a devilish type of rocket, the name. Um but you just got to come back in and have your faith, and just pray. Pray pray that things aren't, things it's going to be brighter tomorrow, sort of thing. I mean, we got things like from the EU passing that they're allowed to put crickets in people's in crickets in ingredients, and the World Health Organization and plus the UN is backing this, saying that it's going to save so many million lives for doing that, so that we're not eating cows that fart, which is totally crazy. And to, really pushing people to get onto a plant-based diet. Now, nothing against a plant-based diet. I know a lot of people who have to eat a plant-based diet because their bodies have a hard time breaking down meat and the protein of meat. I mean, if you're on a really good plant-based vegetarian diet, cool. That's awesome. But if you're forced to do it, like, no, I don't think anybody should be forced to eat a certain type of food, you know, at really at any time, right? So there's that's coming down. So I mean, trying to find something that looking for the positive, and I did. So I did. There's a this TikTok that I follow of this, and his dad dresses up as the Easter Bunny. He's dressed up as the Easter Bunny every single year, and his dad used to dress up as the Easter Bunny in the village, right? And what they do is that they go around and they buy a bunch of chocolate and everything else, and he goes and he just delivers chocolate to random people on the street. And that's what they did. They drove around their village, and they were delivering chocolate to people, and everybody would get a little Easter egg or a little Easter bunny. And then they went into the extended care unit and delivered. He went around and delivered Easter eggs to everybody, and chocolate. So I think something like, I mean, when you see something like that, it's like, oh yes, I mean, there's something beautiful, and humanity is still going strong, you know out there. And I think those are the kind of things that we have to look for in amongst. I mean, there's just, you could go down some really deep, dark, crazy things, from diddling ditty to which is another horrific thing that's coming out, and everybody who's affiliated with him and the different things that he did, to watching our politicians be spineless assholes, right? Steve and I were talking, and we've had a prime minister for the last 8.5 years who's taken our country and drove it into the ground. Then, I mean, I'm not a Putin fan or a Russian fan or what have you, but you see a person like Putin who's been in power for quite a longer, I'm not sure many years, I think 12 or something years. And he's taken his country and built it up. And you know I mean, all world leaders do shit and they kill people, right? And people all world leaders do crappy shit, just saying. So but the thing is that he took and he reinvested into his country. When you see things like that, it sort of makes you kind of go, how could we reinvest into our country? Could you imagine? I mean, just thinking of all the billions of dollars they send to other countries to help for their own welfare, on what they could do for our country and make us prosperous and make the people prosperous. And even within the when you look into the resources, and how much could go back you know to each individual person, in the country, and help them out in some way, and help our social services programs and everything else. I mean, the thing is that the resources in that are all there for every single country, in order to make that country viable, in order to make that country, grow and prosper. But you get, and this is where it shows you, and I think that's why there's so much unveiling, is to get you to show you, is that putting your trust in something other than something higher is will lead you down a dark road. And I think that's what's happened. And even right down to in Cadbury chocolate, um, changing the name of their chocolate because they don't want people to be offended by Easter. For fuck's sake, Easter is a Christian holiday. Basically, I mean, even you could say it's based on Ostra and pagan and all that. I don't care. it is a holy week. It is a week, today's Good Friday, the crucifixion of Christ, Easter Saturday, and then, and then you have Easter on Sunday, and then you enter into um Holy Week. And so this is where I think this is where people get lost, is like they're so damn fucking concerned about caring about other people's, you know, um feelings, about their little Rami Dami Dami or whatever it is, that they forget themselves and forget what is important to them by putting other people's concerns in that before their own. And in doing so, I think that's where we're starting to see a lot of the dismantlement. If we really thought and really put our own selves first, and you wouldn't be seeing all this bloody bullshit going on. You'd be seeing people wanting to thrive. And and the thing is, when you see people wanting to thrive and do things, it doesn't make them horrible people. It doesn't make them people that don't want to help people. In fact, when shit hits the fan, more people are wanting to help people than anybody else, right? When there's a flood or an earthquake or some kind of horrible disaster, people come together and they really want to help one another. They don't want to see anybody distraught or in horrible pain. They don't. I mean, human beings at the core really are compassionate. But and that's probably why they don't want to offend anybody, fear of offending. But then you get to a point like, fuck it. Just because you don't want kids to have puberty blockers makes you you hate trans, or you have transphobia. Like, fuck off. Like, that's where it's got to come to a point where people just got to say, like, fuck off. you know all of this just craziness is coming to a point. And in some ways, when I hear everything that's coming down with this solar eclipse and everything else, it's like, okay, bring it, baby, bring it, right? um and just you know looking at the craziness in the world, it's like, okay, maybe we do need a really big shakeup that gets people to awaken and to really start to come together. That won't happen, Dana. That won't happen. I'm just telling you, that will not happen. That's not in their mentality. That is not what they are taught, right? That's not within their realm. When you listen to them, like, I remember when when I worked in a bakery, and this one woman was so, I don't know, she just I don't know, she tried every way to get me upset or mad or angry at stuff. And um just in some of the comments that she made, it's just funny. But they only want their street. They don't want a two-way street, dear. They don't want that, and that's the whole thing. They don't want it. I mean, right now they're wanting to take away the English flag, right? St. George's flag, because it's offensive in some kind of fucking way, and they want to add some color to it. Like, fuck off! It's red and white. That's color it is. you know, it's been around for thousands of years, and and this is making a lot of people there angry and rising up. It's like, no, I don't want to see a Pakistani flag, a Chinese flag, a Russian flag over Canada. I want to see the Canadian flag, right? Same in the United States. They want to see the United States flag. So this is where I think people, part of the wake up is wake up in finding out what is your truth. What is your truth? And standing up for your truth, and not bowing because others are offended by your truth. If you're a Christian and this is a very sacred weekend for you, which it is, be proud of it. Be proud of it. Stand in it, you know, and stand in that, of that part of who you are. And even if, if you were raised within the Christian, but you still feel for this weekend, and you can still kind of identify for it, honor that with inside yourself. Don't deny it, and don't be afraid to say anything to anybody. This is a part of you. right? If you want to call yourself a Christian witch, then call yourself a Christian witch or a Roman Catholic witch or a Mormon witch or whatever. I don't give a shit. But this is where it's just like allow yourself to be who you want to be. Allow yourself to stand in there and stand proud. And allow others to stand up and stand proud. And that's the other part too. Being proud of who you are and where you've come from and what your family has built. And I think that's very important as we go forward because we've lost that. We've lost that, right? Oh, 3 p.m. now. Jesus died on the cross for us. Definitely. Yeah. This is a time where I would have been in church. And it is, you know, uh, looking at that sacred time at 3 o'clock. It's funny. I went on at 3 o'clock. So, and in reverence of the death of Christ. That's what it is. That's what it is. And when you see the veneration of the cross, a little bit of Catholicism coming in, we go up and we kiss the feet of Christ or we touch the cross. And it's not that we are like bowing, like I guess, bowing down, oh God, like that. It's more of oh, look what you've done for us. Look at what you've done for us. Look at what you have you came and you died for all of us. And when you sort of sit back and you think about it, you're just like, holy shit, this person was trying to really bring love and light into the world, however you want to put it, however you want to see it, but really bring that forth to us all to a point that he allowed himself to be sacrificed for it, the sacrificial lamb. Is something I think we have to really look at. And that's one thing about Christianity, um, is that it has forgiveness in it. So that's a huge part about it. And you don't really see that within the other one. You don't see that forgiveness within it. So yeah. Anyways, that's just a little bit my 2 bits. I won't get into too much of it, but I just feel like right now it's for us to stand in our truth and in our knowingness and be proud of who we are and be proud of where we came from and honor that within us and within all of us so that we don't lose it. So that's my 2 bits for Friday. I'm not going to stay too long. Um, had the kids over for breakfast, so we had a really nice breakfast this morning where Steve made some beautiful ackee and saltfish and fried bake, which was absolutely fabulous. So we had that. And yeah, so have a fabulous weekend. Don't know if I'll come on anymore this weekend. Just going to lay low. And on Monday, it's all there's something that just flew that way. Sorry, something just flew that way. So have a very happy Easter. Enjoy the chocolate. Enjoy each other's company and the family that you have around you, or just getting out in nature. And have a blessed Easter, everyone. And stand proud and stand in your truth. So have a blessed one. And we'll see you. Probably talk to you on Monday. I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.